Husker Sports Network programming begins in 5 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 4 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 3 minutes. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 2 minutes. And this is our final time check. The network will go silent for the final 1 minute. Husker Sports Network programming begins in 1 minute.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe, and here's a look at today's headlines. Nebraska guard Delano Banton announced on Friday that he is keeping his name in the NBA draft and will forego his remaining college eligibility. Banton, a 6'9" guard from Toronto, Canada, played in 27 games for the Big Red this past season, averaging 9.6 points per game, while leading Nebraska in both rebounds and assists. Banton also had the school's second ever triple-double. The NBA draft is set for July 29th. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals between Tampa Bay and Montreal. The series shifts to Canada, with the Lightning already up 2-0. Major League Baseball, one game already underway. The Phillies lead the Padres 2-0 in the fourth. About to get underway, the Dodgers at the Nationals, the Brewers at the Pirates, the Rays in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays, the Cubs and Reds set to tangle, Astros in Cleveland to match up with the Indians, the White Sox in Detroit to face the Tigers, the Marlins at the Braves. They're in a rain delay with the Mets and the Yankees in the Subway Series. Cardinals in Denver to take on the Rockies later tonight. The Orioles will be at the Angels, the Red Sox at Oakland, the Giants in Phoenix to take on the Diamondbacks, the Rangers at the Mariners, and the Royals hosting the Twins tonight in Kansas City. We are less than a month away from the start of the Tokyo Olympics, and Team USA will be without their women's 100-meter champion. Sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, who won the 100-meter dash at the Olympic trials, tested positive at those trials for marijuana. She has been disqualified and unable to compete. The first week of action at Wimbledon is closing out, and on the men's side, number 1 seeded Novak Djokovic advanced to the fourth round with a straight sets win today. Djokovic trying to win the rare double of winning on the clay at the French and the grass of Wimbledon in the same year. Those are tonight's sports headlines.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time.
Little chopper, right back to Schwellenbach, throws to first, in time. Huskers make it 9 in a row as they take game 1. A terrific pitching performance on both sides for Nebraska. Povich, Buns, Schwellenbach combine on the shutout. Povich gets the win. Schwellenbach is 8th save, and Nebraska takes game 1 of this series, a final of 1-0.
Povich was as good as I've ever seen him today. The fastball had life to it. The changeup had a lot of late life to it as well. Looking the same out of the hand. He threw the curveball, the slider, and the cutter. I mean, he threw 5 different pitches today, all for strikes. Very competitive, looked like an ace, and we needed every bit of it today.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you, and welcome to our final show of the week, our final show to get you into a holiday weekend. 4th of July in just 2 days. Here's what we have coming up on the program tonight. Evan Bland, good friend of the program from the Omaha World Herald, will join us. We'll talk to Evan about Husker baseball and football. We'll get his thoughts on the Will Bolt extension announced yesterday, and he's also certainly been covering the NIL story that has popped around college sports in the last 24 hours. Coming up in hour number 2, going to have a great chat with Kate Cain, the former Husker who wrapped up her career in March when the Husker women's basketball season came to an end. We'll catch up with Kate. What's going on with her? What's ahead for her? Looking forward to that conversation. We're going to unveil a new little segment of the program on a Friday called our Friday Five. Jessica and I will recap some of the biggest stories of the week in the sports world, and we'll have our winners and losers as well. If you want to be a part of the show, here are the numbers: 402-413-2400. You can call or text on that number. All right, Jessica, day 2 of NIL. We even kind of said last night on the show, a little surprised it wasn't more hectic yesterday. It really hasn't been all that hectic today.
It hasn't, and kind of a little bit surprised about it, but as we talked about, going to continue to fill this thing out as we go, and it's going to be developing as we go. And, I think it's going to be deals here or there will pop up, but a lot of it probably in negotiating processes. Maybe some people, we talked to Lexi last night, Lexi's son, who was obviously very impressive about how she's handled all of this. She's going to be very thoughtful in the deals and brands that she signs. So maybe, some of those athletes are hopefully doing that and thinking through the things that they're doing. But, I think it'll be here or there. We'll see things pop up along the way. But I am a little surprised it wasn't just the floodgates opening. But I think that's probably a good thing that it's not.
think that's on the businesses more. The athletes are ready, but I think some businesses are thinking this through and how best to utilize the athletes and what kind of spend do they want to make. I mean, that's the thing they've got to judge. How valuable is athlete X going to be to their brand? And, hey, that's their business. They've got to figure that out. And that's why I think it may be a slower rollout than a lot of us had anticipated. A new twist on the story that I want to get into with you tonight. And this is something that I learned about a couple of days ago, but we were so busy just trying to talk about the launch of NIL that this didn't come up. But Nuri Noeli, who is an offensive lineman for the Cornhuskers, went to high school just south of Lincoln and Norris. He is a transfer foreign exchange student from Germany. He's here on a student visa. And, Jessica, if you have a student visa, you're not going to be able to profit from NIL. And that's going to take a big swipe through college athletics.
No doubt. I mean, I read a statistic that 1 in 10 college athletes are international. And those federal laws, you just can't mess with those. It's all these individual countries and governments and how that kind of plays into that. And, that stinks for international athletes. I read where, they might have to apply for a different kind of visa, which is harder to get. But there's just what else? What can you do? A lot of people don't have answers to that.
That's the one thing that I know we haven't brought up on Sports Nightly, that this is in effect. It's kind of hitting the news today. Parker Gabriel, the Lincoln Journal-Star, has a piece up about it right now, and I know a couple of the TV stations in town have jumped on it as well. And you think, 1 in 10 might be shocking to some people, but you think about
tennis,
track and field,
right?
Has an awful lot of foreign students that come to the United States to compete. Golf, I think golfers come from all over the world to come and play and get college scholarships at this level. And even Delano Banton, who we mentioned in the top and the ticker, the Husker basketball player, was from Toronto, Canada. So he would fall into that thing too.
Yeah, a lot of Australians too come here to play college basketball as well, both men's and women's. So yeah, I would like to, or I wonder what they're kind of thinking about this, how they're kind of feeling going through this. I mean, on one hand, it's a great opportunity to get to come here and play college sports and get your education here. I know that's a dream, from outside of even just here in this country, but a lot of athletes dream of coming to the United States and making a name for themselves. But it would be interesting to get their point of view on it, but I got to think it's got to be a little bit confusing. How are we going to maneuver through all of this?
And I think the answer to that is going to have to be Congress. I think Congress is going to have to enact something to waive it so that they can profit off their name, image, likeness. And we all know how that works in D.C. That's a very slow process to get anything through there.
But then is that something where they can, sign deals in their home countries?
Probably.
Yeah.
I would think. But, those are all steps that we don't know about moving forward. And we mentioned Kate Cain's coming on. There's a couple of members of the women's basketball team here in Nebraska that are from Australia. So glad you brought up Australia, though. So that's an interesting twist to the NIL story that we did not talk about at all last night, either Jessica or I, when we had Garrett Classy in here. So one of the things that I thought we'd have some fun with tonight is that, now that this door has been kicked down and a major change in college athletics with letting the students profit off name, image, likeness, it's taking a lot of power away from the NCAA. So I thought it'd be fun, Jessica, if you and I said, okay, what if we were Mark Emmert? What if we were the head of the NCAA? What changes would we like to make? So you and I both put together a list of 3 things. If we were commissioner for a day, what would we do? So give me your number 1.
I love this. I thought this was a great idea. The first one that I would do is I would make it to where, so like how baseball, you can get drafted, you can see where you go, and then you can come back. You can opt to come back and play another season. I want to do that with football and basketball. And where, if you get drafted or you go undrafted, or maybe you don't go drafted as high as you thought, you can come back and play another year. Now that, with this NIL thing, you're allowed to sign representation and sign with agents. So if that was the issue before and the making money thing, that's out the door. So what's kind of preventing that from happening? Now there's probably rules within the NBA and NFL, but so many, you get some of these guys that are getting bad information from agents, from even, Pro Football Focus sometimes kind of gives, unfortunately, information that's not always correct. So, this is life-changing decisions that if you, explore it and it's not exactly what it's best for you, turns out, then you get to come back and have another go at it and maybe improve your status, finish your degree, whatever that might be.
I love that. And I've always felt baseball had the right formula. If you're good enough out of high school, go. If you're not, then you have to commit to a couple years. It's 3 right now in baseball. Some people think that's too extreme, that it shouldn't be that long. I really feel like the one and dones in college basketball have really damaged the sport because the Dukes and the Kentuckys of the world roll their team over every year. And to a certain degree, maybe the Kansases, they might fit in that category as well. And as a fan base, you want to wrap your arms around your team. But if they're only there 12 months and for 30-some games, it's hard to figure out who the team is from year after year. So I like that one. I'm going to stay with the college baseball model that you threw out. I would like college baseball to push the start of the season back to March 1. It's that third weekend of February now. And by pushing it back to March 1, it helps the northern schools, which certainly Nebraska falls into that you wouldn't maybe have to spend the first 3 weekends away. Maybe it's just the first 2, and then you could get mid-March, and you can have a home series and have home games here in Lincoln or anywhere else in the Big Ten Conference. And it would also then slide the end of the season. And my dream has been, Jessica, that college baseball wraps up on the 4th of July weekend. I think they would dominate that weekend because, we think of holidays. We think of Thanksgiving as a great football weekend. We think of New Year's as college football's bowl season. Why not think of the 4th of July as the wrap-up of the baseball season?
Well, yeah, and it would help us radio folk, too, right? Give us something to talk about.
One more week.
Yeah, but I agree. I think, it's so cold. And I know the fans here are dedicated, but across the country, it might help, attendance in those early games as well. And I personally would appreciate not having to go to a cold game outside, but I think that would help everything as well. So I like that as well.
It's such a big advantage for the southern schools that the northern schools have to go south those first 3 and sometimes
just
4
live
weeks.
on the road.
You live on the road. And with those southern schools, Huskers finished up at Arkansas. Arkansas had already played like 43 home games. Well, Nebraska had 16 this year. Now, this was an odd year. Normally, Nebraska would have 24 to 25 home games. But what an advantage to play that many more home games in your own ballpark and never have to play in cold weather and don't have to travel near as much. The travel wears people out.
No doubt.
And in baseball, they don't charter. They fly commercial. So they're bussing to Omaha, getting on a commercial flight, and then landing back in Omaha late on a Sunday night, coming back to campus and going to class the next day.
It's hard to travel with baseball and softball teams. I mean, all the equipment, and it's a huge team, and then you play 3 games, and just then you got to fly back to be able to get to class. It's not an easy thing to do. So, and having to do that, a lot of schools for an entire month, and even what I'm about to get into, sometimes to get the best competition, you got to go on the road. So, I think that would definitely be helpful to be able to push it back, have some more advantages to have some games at home. Bring in some money, too, with
absolutely
having people come to the ballpark.
All right, how about your number 2?
I want to give the RPI the boot. It was a system that was created in the late 70s by the Men's College Basketball Committee. So if it was something that was established that long ago for men's basketball, it's probably not as relevant now, right, for, these men's and women's sports. But I just think, look at, all the issues that, especially this season, took place with both the baseball selections for the NCAA tournament and the softball tournament as well. There was a lot of issues with, and it was more than just the RPI. So kind of to go along with that, transparency. And how are you picking these teams? Why are you putting teams certain places? Why are certain teams going here and there? And, I think there were a lot of teams, both in baseball and softball, that had no idea and still don't know to this day why things played out the way that they played out. And you can, it's a little over the top, right? The college football, they have it every week, but at least there's transparency. We know why they're putting teams where they are. I don't feel like, the sports and the committees of these other sports are held to the same kind of standard of explaining themselves of where they're putting teams. So with, I would like to see that, like, what are we doing here when we're seeding these teams a little bit more? Because I think the RPI is dated, but is that playing into it? Is it not? Like, what are you doing here?
College basketball has tweaked it. They've gone more to the net.
Yeah, now there was the net. Yep.
But the women's game still does rely on the RPI, and certainly the ball bat sports do rely on the RPI. And it was a joke this year because every league did something different in the spring with their seasons. Nebraska fans were not happy because the Huskers didn't get to host, and I think Nebraska was a hostable type team. Michigan softball went 36-6, and they're a traditional power, and they didn't get to host. That just seems wrong. So I'm with you.
And the eye test, why that needs to play into it like it has for college college football. And, if you're watching a team, if anybody watched Nebraska or Michigan softball, you would see that is not a team that needs to go on the road and play a top team like both Michigan and Nebraska had to do.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Michigan had to go to Washington, and Washington wasn't happy. Their team got up and walked out during the selection show. They were so mad.
Nobody explained why they were a 16 seed, why they got to host the regional, but then had to go to Oklahoma for the number one team in the nation for Supers.
Yeah. I'm college basketball for my second one. I want the season to shorten. I think, 30 years ago, the season would start around Thanksgiving week. I think that's the perfect time to begin college basketball. And I get tired of coaches at the end of the year going, my team is so tired. It's been such a long year. Well, they've done it to themselves. And you probably remember the days where Midnight Madness was October 15th. That was your first practice. Well, now they're starting in the end of September, so they've extended their practice time by another 2 or 3 weeks.
And they're working out all throughout the summer.
They are, and they are exhausted when they come to March. And you do have stress fractures and more injuries that crop up late in the year because teams are just flat worn out. So condense the season, leave March where it is. That's perfect. Everybody loves March Madness, but start the season in November. I know you may have to play more games in December. Fine, so be it. That's what they want to do. Kids want to play games.
Yeah, I think, and you start competing with football a lot of times in November.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so sometimes you're not getting as many, again, fans in the seats because they're going to a football game.
Right.
Well, they're not watching it on TV because they're worried they're caught up in college football. And then in December, there's a little bit of a lull. So, in between the bowl season and the last game, so you still can get, a lot of basketball in during that time.
And they also, it's not so much an issue here, but you'll hear coaches and administrators complain about the lack of attendance for November basketball games. Well, people are still focused on their football team at that point in time. So, perfect. All right, number 3.
So we talked a little bit about this last night, but I want to see more equality in for women's sports. And I think it's coming, but I want it to stop being where it's the things that happen that cause the change, right? The playing till 1 a.m. for the Women's College World Series, the weight room for the women's basketball tournament, and also look at volleyball. And like you mentioned, the club-like tournament that they had, but also the streaming, how, was it going to be on? They were not going to have announcers. There was not a lot of, details that went into that. And people want to see their teams play in these tournaments. So I want to see, okay, if ESPN has the option or whatever it might be, and they're not going to stream it, then let somebody pick it up. You don't think somebody around here, the Big Ten Network, would pick up all of their teams or whatnot. But I think getting these women's sports on television and giving the option, because they're just sometimes kind of a second thought. And so instead of maybe these instances happen that causes the uproar, that causes the change, let's prevent these instances altogether.
It's been embarrassing what's happened the last 3 or 4 months for women's sports. Those tournaments run by the NCAA. Starting a softball game well after midnight is ridiculous. And I know we had some rain delays in Omaha for the CWS, but they were in the 7th or 8th inning or whatever, and they picked the game up and finished it that night. That's totally different than starting a game well after midnight. I'm with you 100% there. My last one is I want football to have an earlier signing period. For years and years, it was the first Wednesday of February. They finally, a couple years ago, tweaked that and let student athletes sign in December, and most of them are doing that now. Very few are waiting until February. It's pretty much all done in December. But why not let them sign before they have their senior year? College basketball does it. College basketball has that November period where they sign before they start their high school senior season. Nebraska has 7 or 8 commitments right now. Let those kids sign in August. Put that worry behind them. They can enjoy their senior year of high school playing and move on with it. I think move it up to that and then have that secondary signing period in December.
Yeah, I agree. You hear all the time talking about kids talking about how stressful it is, right? And you can't all focus on what you're doing in your final year, and because you're kind of balancing all these things that are going on official visits and all that, which official visits I'm sure will still happen with the schools that you sign with, but it's a lot to carry, a lot of weight in addition to trying to, close out your senior season, potentially winning a state title or whatever that might be. So I think a lot of high school kids would be all for that. Let's just get it done, because you hear that all the time. It's a huge relief when they sign and get it over with. So, yeah, I think it would be beneficial for them.
I don't know how many coaches would agree, because they like that evaluation period of their senior year. Get more tape on these kids, see how they've developed. But
that's where the December signing day comes in.
You still have that part. Don't sign your whole class early. And a lot of kids aren't ready to sign yet, but some are. Like I said,
and lock them in.
Lock them in, exactly. Bo Pelini, the former Nebraska head coach, used to say, when they commit, let them sign. If they're ready to commit, let them sign. Then you got them, and they're done, we're done. We can move on to our next recruit. They can live their life for the next 8-9 months. All right, that was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That was cool.
Well, I think they should sign us up to be commissioner.
Absolutely.
On the committee.
Mark Emmert, you're out. We're coming in, taking over. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. If you have some thoughts about some of those, we can jump into that a little bit later on in the hour. When we come back, Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald will join us. We'll talk Husker baseball, Husker football, NIL, whatever Evans, what's on his mind. We'll get into that next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Welcome back, Sports Nightly here on a Friday night, July the 2nd, the day after the world changed with the NIL. And here to talk about that and other things, Evan Bland from the Omaha World Herald. You can read Evan's work at omaha.com. Good evening, Evan. How are you tonight? And what'd you make of yesterday? What'd you think of the launch of NIL?
Hey, Greg. Hey, doing well. It was a landmark, historic day. I keep going back to the word surreal. Like, it was surreal going on to social media and seeing athletes, engaging brands in ways that would have been illegal for the entire existence of the NCAA, whether that was sponsoring, food items or dog trainers or announcing what marketing rep they were signing with. It was so strange after college athletics operated one way within that specific amateurism model under the NCAA for so long. To see that flip, it's going to take some getting used to. And, good, bad, or otherwise, it's just way different than it has been to this point. I know a lot of student athletes are going to get some opportunities that they haven't had before, and there'll be some benefits and probably some consequences that come with it. But, absolutely just an historic sort of day. And, this summer has just been kind of wild when you think about that and everything else that's going on. But a major adjustment for college sports, and one that I know it's going to take me a while to get used to.
How big of an adjustment, Evan, is it for coaches? And I know you've probably talked to a handful of the football coaches, maybe even Will Bolt. How big of an adjustment is it going to be for them?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what's part of a coach's goal is to have the team focused and have the team of one mind, and I would imagine that this doesn't necessarily help that. I think you probably have to, if you're a coach, guard against distraction. I've talked to some former players who have said you're probably going to have to guard against some jealousy too in the locker room. If you're a teammate of somebody who's a high earner, and maybe you're not as much, that's something you have to maybe talk out or put aside or at least be aware of going into things. There's potential that, hey, there's only so much focus and mental energy everybody has in a given day. And to this point in the history of college athletics, that's gone mostly toward furthering your academic work and making yourself better as an athlete in whatever sport you're in. And so now you have that in addition to, if you choose to go down that road, branding, striking a deal, figuring out what you want to do with that. Student athletes are notoriously overscheduled as it is. And so I know Nebraska and its partnership with Open Doors, they've streamlined a lot of that. That's a lot better than kind of the Wild West of just being approached through email or calls and being kind of propositioned, I guess, for different deals or partnerships that might be out there. But, yeah, I think if you're a coach, you're going to have to continue to foster a team environment. I think we talk about the baseball team. That was something that Will Bolt said so often this year was guys not only played for each other, but they actively celebrated each other's success. And I think when you introduce NIL, that kind of brings a whole other layer to things. But the team element's going to be huge. The selflessness is going to continue to be huge. And again, priorities. When I was in college, I don't know that I was always the best at time management, but anybody who's going to enter into this NIL market and work to build their brand, you're going to have to really be you're going to have to prioritize your time pretty well.
I didn't know what time management meant in college, Evan. Had no clue on that. My grade showed it. You mentioned Will Bolt. So the announcement came out last night. In fact, here on Sports Nightly, Garrett Classy dropped that out, that they've extended his contract by a year and given him a pay raise. Give us the nuts and bolts of this. What does this mean? Where does it place him in the league? What kind of things have you dug out on this?
Yeah, first of all, it's well-deserved, obviously. And I thought what Garrett Classy said on your show was, it stood out a little bit. When he said that what Nebraska did this spring and how it performed in the regional could catapult the athletic department as a whole going into next season. That's a powerful statement. And I think anybody who followed the Huskers this spring and how they fared against Arkansas and how they played late in the year, it's tough not to be inspired by that sort of thing. And I've always thought there's something about Nebraska baseball that really can be inspiring to fans. It just feels like at any time, that program, we've seen it in the mid-2000s, it can catch fire and it can turn into kind of a magical season. And I think we got a little bit of a whiff of that this spring, where it's like, man, it's exciting to think where this program could go in the coming years. And to the credit of the administration, they saw that too, and they said, yeah, we're going to do our best to keep Will Bolt around. And so to have him now under contract through 2026, to give him that $100,000 a year pay raise up to $400,000 a year, I mean, that's a good start. It feels to me like it might be the start of what could be even more if the success continues to go. But as Garrett Classy noted last night, that puts Will Bolt number 2 in the Big Ten now, behind Eric Bakich of Michigan. I think it's an acknowledgement from the administration of what Will Bolt did in what was essentially his first year. Yes, his second year here in town, but his first full season. As Bill Moose always said, they reward champions, and by winning the Big Ten and kind of showing where this thing could go in the future, they rewarded Will Bolt and his staff right now.
Pretty crazy. I mean, it's second season, and yet it wasn't even a complete season, right? I mean, there was no non-conference. They played the league games only. They didn't play as many as they would normally play. So hopefully next year he gets the full 56 in, right? Hopefully they get to play their entire slot of games next year. All eyes, Evan, in that program are going to turn toward the draft in a couple of weeks. Schwellenbach obviously will be at the top of that. But Kate Povich, I would guess. What do you make of the draft? How damaging could it be for Nebraska, and who do you have your eyes on as it relates to the Husker program?
Yeah, to me there are 4 guys that I'll be watching, 2 who are there currently and 2 who are coming in. You mentioned Kate Povich. I think he's a 50-50 guy. I mean, he performed well as Nebraska's Friday ace this year. What's interesting about him is that he, because of the COVID year, actually has 2 years of eligibility left. So oftentimes players like him maybe come in, they perform well, and then you kind of have to go almost, because if you don't have that leverage, that bargaining power when you get drafted through negotiations. But Kate Povich actually has the best of both worlds right now, where he could still come back for another year and still have that extra year to play with a year from now. So I know education is important for him and his family, and that's going to play a factor. And, of course, it just takes one team to believe in you and to give you a life-changing amount of money to change your mind. But I just feel like he might still have another year here at Nebraska in him. Jackson Hallmark would be the other one, a guy who, again, under normal circumstances would have graduated. I mean, he has graduated. He has his degree at Nebraska, and he could come back for another year. He was a guy who really thrived under Will Bolt, who kind of found what his role is as a bunter, a table setter. He even hit for some power late in the season, as we all saw at Arkansas. That's another guy who's going through pre-draft workouts, and we'll kind of see. I mean, he told me earlier in the season, it's all about the draft. If he goes high enough, he'll leave, and if not, I mean, coming back to Nebraska is a pretty great option for him too. So those are the guys on the current roster that I'll be looking at most. And then on the backside, I think everybody knows Drew Christo out of Elkhorn has had an amazing last couple of years. Scouts have been at his high school games consistently. His same thing with his travel ball situation. His dad being a former quarterback at Nebraska, Monty Christo, has played into his love of the program, and I think that's something you can't, discount when he's weighing his options. So again, it'll just depend on how high he goes, but as Nebraska often says to players in his situation, it better be a pretty high amount of money if you're going to be bought out of your college experience. Because if you go pro, suddenly you're on a team with guys who see you as the competition, guys who see you maybe as a threat to get called up before you do. And if you go to Nebraska, it's about the team, it's about winning, it's about development, all those things. So I still think there's a good chance that Drew Christo gets here, but we'll see. And then Chase Mason is the other one, an outfielder from South Dakota. He's a guy who's been on scouts' radars for a while now. He was a little bit under the radar just because of where he lives and because he hadn't really gone through the travel ball circuit too much. But this is a guy who has prodigious power, who's a plus athlete. I kind of feel like he's going to make it to Nebraska too, because he's a little bit underdeveloped as a hitter right now, and that's something that Will Bolt and his staff are known for bringing out of guys. But he'd be the other guy who has all the potential to eventually be a high pick. So, I look at those 4 guys, and I still think 3 of them probably end up in Nebraska next year. I guess we'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here with the draft next week.
Yeah, coming up, only a week away for all of that to break. I know you made it out to the College World Series. How was that? And have all the Mississippi State fans left Omaha yet? Or there's still some straggling around?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was some sight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They filled the place. It was really, honestly, it was the best possible ending to that College World Series, I thought, not because I was rooting for them or Vanderbilt or whoever, but, the local economy got a win because a whole bunch of Mississippi State fans came in and stayed for the maximum duration and enjoyed the hospitality of Omaha. It was great for Mississippi State, which has never won a national title in any team sport. Great for their fans to come in and see that. And we had some pretty great baseball, too. I mean, there was drama, there were walk-offs, there were future draft picks who were improving their stock by their play in Omaha that week. And it was just a ton of fun. And you and I, Greg, obviously follow Nebraska baseball quite a bit. It felt to me like, seeing the teams in Omaha, Nebraska wasn't all that far away this year. They had, I think they could have held their own in a field like that from what we saw. So a lot of high-quality baseball. It's great to have it back. Obviously, after having the event canceled last year, you really it's hard. You don't take it for granted anymore. So it was really cool to have this thing back and have fans come out and enjoy it. It was a pretty cool event.
All right, you ready to take your baseball cap off and start talking and writing about college football?
Yeah, here we go. I mean, we have an AD search, we have NIL, we have pick your poison. Let's do it all.
Should be good. Be safe on the 4th, Evan. Always appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Greg.
There he is, Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald, joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Phone lines open for you, 402-413-2400. Call or text. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to adventures in technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
402-413-2400, the number if you want to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night before a holiday weekend. Thanks again to Evan Bland for spending part of his holiday weekend with us here on Sports Nightly. Always great to get his insight into Husker baseball and more football once we move past this date. Jessica, in the ticker, I talked about the U.S. sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, she won the 100-meter dash at the trials a couple of weeks ago, but tested positive at the trials for having marijuana in her system. So they've stripped her of the win. She will not compete in that event at the Olympic Games in Tokyo in a month. This story has blown up in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it. It's been the number one trending topic on my Twitter all day long. And so I think, again, it's one of those things where it's such a gray area because here in the United States, there's so many states where marijuana is legal. There's a medical license. She had talked about how she was dealing with stress. But, I mean, the rules are the rules, and this is a global type, Olympic. It's a world rule that, is across all of Olympics that have to abide by these rules. But she's out of the 100-meter, which everyone thought she had a chance to compete for a gold medal for Team USA. I mean, we were talking she was going to be a huge star and really captivated the country after she won that event. But still not out of the Olympics completely, has a chance to maybe be selected to run in the 4x100 for Team USA. There's 4 qualifiers and then 2 that are selected by the committee. So still has a chance to compete in the Olympics. But, this has been a hot topic all day today.
Sure has. She's so marketable. Obviously, the hair grabs a lot of people's attention, but that's the premier event in track and field. It really, the fastest woman or man on earth is one of the biggest events in that sport.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest events all Olympics. Like, you tune into that, you tune into the sprints at,
right.
The Olympics, you tune into the swimming, and you tune into gymnastics a lot of times. That's what a lot of people watch. But the track and field is huge, and that's the one everybody has all eyes on.
Bringing this back to the college game, I feel for a lot of young men and women who come to college from states where up to a certain amount of marijuana use is legal.
Yeah.
And then they come here to Nebraska, it's not. So you come here, and then you obviously have NCAA or Big Ten rules that you can be tested, and you may not pass. But they grow up in a place where it's fine, and you go somewhere where it's not legal. That's confusing for an 18-year-old person.
Yeah, and I think, isn't it Major League Baseball? It's not in their testing at all. I think that was one of the things. Yeah, and so, and I think that's one where NFL player, it's being pushed by, I think, a lot of the players' unions. And so the fact that it's legal and it's probably going to be legal everywhere at some point, it's just tough. But again, this is a world type, thing that we're talking about, not just here in the United States. So you got to follow all of those rules.
Right. You got to follow the international.
You got to know the rules, and and that's what she said. She took accountability for it and said, I should have followed the rules. I know the rules, and that's on me, and I apologize. And I thought she's handled it really well today, but it's kind of a touchy subject and one that's been a hot topic in all of sports, especially here in the United States. But it's still a rule, and it's still a rule you got to follow.
You're right, and it goes beyond the U.S. Olympic Committee's rules. It's the International Olympic Committee rules. And, sprinters have traditionally been the ones that have used performance-enhancing drugs. Marijuana's really not that. It's more of almost a sedative in a way, but it's still one of those things that they do test you for, and she tested positive for it. But, boy, down to the year, sprinters have always been the ones that have tried to get that little extra edge, to get that extra tenth of a second, which might make them get to the medal stand.
Yeah, I mean, all the scandals that broke, early 2000s after all of that. But, yeah, hopefully she gets – I really hope that she gets a chance to redeem herself and run on the 100-meter relay team, the 4x100 relay team. But, tough blow, not just for her, but for USA, for the United States. You always, root for the United States to bring home gold medals, and that was a real shot at it.
You just lost your sprint champion. Is not going to be able to compete in that particular race. I bet she gets to compete in a relay.
Yeah.
That's my gut tells me that her suspension, what was it, 30 days?
It's 30 days, so she has to serve a 30-day suspension.
Well, that's already started, right?
I think they said by the,
So is it backdate to when she tested?
So she'll be clear by the time the Olympics start.
Probably, because the 4x100 usually is
They said it was August 6th. So
it's a week into it.
Yeah.
So, she would be up and going. I think, and there'll be so much pressure on the U.S. Olympic Committee to get her to go.
And if she's the fastest, you got to think they want her. They want her to be on the track.
Absolutely.
If she just won it and she won it pretty handily. It wasn't like it was a photo finish. She won that thing, and if that's going to give the team the best chance to compete for medals, you got to think they'll want her out there.
Absolutely. She's got to be the anchor. You put your fastest person as the anchor, so I think she's got to be the anchor. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed Usain Bolt's Olympic Games. They were just electrifying how much he took over that thing. It was him and Michael Phelps were the darlings of the last couple of Olympic Games. Simone Biles certainly got in there last year, and she's going to be a huge star in the Tokyo Games.
What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
I love the gymnastics part of it.
Too.
I really do. And not the men. I'm more locked into the women. Don't tell Chuck Schmelka, Husker men's coach. But it's more the women that I get it. I enjoy their artistry more than I do the men's side of that. And quite honestly, I probably won't watch a lot of the men's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Swimming is okay. I get tired of it. I feel like NBC overdoes it. We just get swimming after swimming after swimming in prime time. But they do it for a reason. There must be a huge market to watch the swimming.
Yeah, I love the swimming. I'm one of those people that would tune into all of it, and I'm with you. I like the women's gymnastics. I also like watching the men's gymnastics too.
Yeah.
But and then I obviously I like the track and field too.
Me too.
The relay races and the sprints for sure.
Yeah, the summer games have always been dominated by swimming and track. And then gymnastics has certainly exploded, particularly in the United States with its popularity.
Be fun to watch volleyball this year.
Sure will be.
I do like sand volleyball.
But they always put volleyball on like an off channel. You
Yeah.
might have to go to like the CNBC or something to find the volleyball. But you're right, with the three Huskers in the hook on that, that'll be fun to follow. And
Tyler Hildebrand coaching the beach volleyball teams.
Yep. And then the basketball. I mean, we
Yeah,
all love
that's-
basketball.
Yep. Both the men's and women's. I like to watch both of them. So
What are the new events this year? There's something really.
Well, softball and baseball are back. Yeah.
Yes.
And golf is fun to watch too.
It is. They added
that's
it
always a
4
fun one.
years
But
ago.
yeah, baseball and softball will be back. So
In fact, Husker fans, Bubba Starling was named today to be on the USA baseball team. Bubba obviously signed a football scholarship here at Nebraska, opted to go pro baseball. Hasn't really spent a lot of time in the major leagues, but he was added to Team USA's roster today. So if you watch some of the baseball games in a month here from Tokyo, Bubba Starling will be part of that team. We need to step aside, get a break in. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Do you
Hit
want
us
your
up on the
date to
text
wait?
line. Text 402-413. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Ford. Take advantage of our current offers and vast inventory selection with features you want at a smart price. Schedule a test drive today or shop online with our streamlined sales process. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in person or online at woodhouseford.com. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Ford in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Friday night of Sports Nightly, 402-413-2400. The number if you want to call us with a comment or question or fire off a text. The Husker news of the day is Delano Banton is going to forego his last couple of years of college eligibility and give it a go in the NBA. He has really blown up at some of these NBA pre-draft camps. They had a G League camp that he played really well in. Delano only played 1 year for the Huskers. He started his college career at Western Kentucky, transferred to Nebraska when Fred Hoiberg got the job, and at that time the one-time transfer rule was not in effect, so he had to sit. Played last year in the COVID year, got COVID, so that's kind of shut him down for a while. But Huskers, I know, are wishing him the best of luck to do well. Fred Hoiberg put out a nice statement today saying that they'll do everything they can to. He said, Delano has told us that he has decided to stay in the NBA draft. He worked hard in the gym and the weight room this offseason and performed well both the G League Elite Camp and in individual workouts with teams over the past few weeks. We will do everything we can to support him as he pursues his goal of playing in the NBA. Still think he's very fringy to get drafted. This would go back to Commissioner Coody, where if he didn't, he could come back.
Yeah,
and
I'd love that.
I think that would make some sense on guys. Leave your name in there if you don't. And now you can side with representation.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I'm saying. If the issue for them has been that, getting money and from endorsements before whatever and signing with agents, that's no longer a rule. So that's kind of a dated thing too now. So let's change that. Or how about the Oklahoma City Thunder draft him? That would be good too, in my book.
Well, that's that's where former Husker Isaiah Roby plays for the Thunder down there. So I don't know. We'll see what Delano can play pro ball. Whether it's in the NBA, I don't know. I think last year was a bit of a wash for him. I don't know that it was a true test of what he was going to be like. But I love Fred Hoiberg's take on this. There's no sour grapes in that statement. We're going to support the young man. We're going to do everything we can to help him along his way. That's the perfect way to handle this. Don't act like, man, I can't believe he bailed on us on July 2nd.
Yeah, well, and he's got a pretty loaded roster,
He does.
right? So, I think you want to support that, and that's his dream and chasing his dream. And, he that's what he said. He said he's betting on himself. So I hope it all works out.
Good for him. Yeah, absolutely good for him. He's an interesting guy, and I know his teammates will wish him luck. That's the biggest Husker story of the day here as we head into a 4th of July weekend. It was pretty quiet around the old stadium today. Not many people around the old university today.
Yeah, it is pretty dead, but give it, 2 weeks and it'll be buzzing. It'll be popping around here.
Cranking back up, because then you'll get the soccer, you'll get volleyball, you get football, getting back and getting cranked up and ready for their seasons. We're inside of 60 days for that Husker opener in Champaign against the Fighting Illini, that Week 0 game on the 28th of August. It'll be here before we know it. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Thanks to Evan Bland for spending some time with us here in hour number 1. Really appreciate that. I understand the holiday weekend has started for pretty much everybody, so for him to carve out a few minutes to join us, we do really appreciate that. Coming up next hour, Kate Cain, who finished up her Husker career back in March, has about every shot block record you can imagine in Nebraska. She's going to join us, talk about what she's up to. Looking forward to that. We're going to have the Friday 5 headed your way in hour number 2. So come on back. 1 down, 1 to go here on a Friday.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's best value colleges. And the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
today's headlines. Nebraska guard Delano Banton announced on Friday that he is keeping his name in the NBA draft and will forego his remaining college eligibility. Banton, a 6'9" guard from Toronto, Canada, played in 27 games for the Big Red this past season, averaging 9.6 points per game while leading Nebraska in both rebounds and assists. Banton also had the school's second ever triple-double. The NBA draft set for July 29th. Tonight, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals between Tampa Bay and Montreal. The series shifts to Montreal with the Lightning leading 2-0. They are about to drop the puck up in Montreal. Major League Baseball games underway. The Phillies lead the Padres 3-0 in the 7th. The Nationals are topping the Dodgers 3-1 in the 4th inning. Also in the 4th, the Brewers lead the Pirates 3-1. The Blue Jays racing out in front of the Tampa Rays 6-0 in the 3rd inning. No score. The Cubs and the Reds in the 4th. The Astros have jumped ahead of the Indians 2-0 that game in the top of the 3rd inning. It was Chicago leading the Tigers, the White Sox that is, 2-0 in the 3rd. The Braves won, the Marlins 0 in the 2nd. Don Mattingly, the Marlins manager, tossed out of that game early, arguing balls and strikes. About to get underway, the Cardinals and the Rockies, the Royals and the Twins. Later tonight, it will be the Orioles at the Angels, Boston at Oakland, San Francisco at Arizona, and the Rangers will be out in Seattle to take on the Mariners. We are less than a month away from the start of the Tokyo Olympics, and Team USA will be without their women's 100-meter champion, sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, who won the 100-meter dash at the U.S. Olympic trials, tested positive at those trials for marijuana. She could still be added to one of the relay teams, as her suspension of 30 days will be over by the time the relays are run. First week of Wimbledon is about to close out, and on the men's side, the number 1 seeded Novak Djokovic advanced to the 4th round with a straight sets win today. Djokovic trying to win the rare double of winning on the clay in Paris and the grass of London in the same year. Those are tonight's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time.
Little chopper, right back to Schwellenbach, throws to first, in time. Huskers make it 9 in a row as they take game 1. A terrific pitching performance on both sides for Nebraska. Povich, Buns, Schwellenbach combine on the shutout. Povich gets the win. Schwellenbach is 8th save, and Nebraska takes game 1 of this series, a final of 1-0.
Povich was as good as I've ever seen him today. The fastball had life to it. The changeup had a lot of late life to it as well. Looking the same out of the hand. He threw the curveball, the slider, and the cutter. I mean, he threw 5 different pitches today, all for strikes. Very competitive, looked like an ace, and we needed every bit of it today.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you, and we are ready to rock out the week, our final hour of the week here on Sports Nightly. Thank you so much for hanging with us. If you're out barbecuing, milking the cows, whatever you may be doing, we got a text. Some guy said he's listening to us while milking the cow, or maybe we can help pass the time, right?
That is awesome. Love that.
You ever done that? I don't know that I've ever done that.
I've not milked cows, but my family, they're cattle ranchers and have all kinds of cattle. So I've definitely done a lot of the checking on the cattle and been a part of that. But I've not milked one, that's for sure.
I think maybe at some 4-H thing I was at, maybe I did it a billion years ago, but it's been a while. All right, we had a good hour coming up. Kate Cain, Jessica got a chance to catch up with her a couple days ago. We're going to hear back from one of the great shot blockers in Cornhusker history, see what's up with her. We're going to have our Friday 5 as we look back at some of the 5 hottest topics of the week in the sports world. We'll have our week winners and losers coming your way later on in the hour. And we'll have some time later for some calls at 402-413-2400 or fire off a text as well. Kate Cain, what a great chance for you to get to meet her.
Yeah, she was awesome. I was really, really impressed with her. It was fun to just chat with her. She has a great personality. She's working out here, which I think is big for, you talk about recruiting, and when you're done playing here that you can come back and work out, and you got some of the best facilities that you can find to continue to train and get right. And she learned a lot going to the training camp with the Las Vegas Aces, and we covered a lot of things, even what to expect about this upcoming team, which she played with a lot of them, has seen some of the newcomers. But we start with her just kind of giving us an update on what's been going on this summer.
Thank you for having me. And So basically these days I'm back in Lincoln, just working on classes and using the facilities, which have been super nice. Kind of just working out, trying to make the most of these next few months before signing an overseas contract and heading over there to get to play professionally. So it's been super exciting.
Yeah, so this summer you signed a training camp contract with the Las Vegas Aces. How was that experience? What did you kind of take away from that?
It was a crazy, great learning experience because you really start to just learn about the next level of basketball, how much of a business it is, because I literally got a call maybe an hour after the draft and from my agent, and it was like, okay, do you want to go to Vegas? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, you're leaving tomorrow. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
So it was a really quick turnaround, and it was just a really cool experience learning from some of the best, especially some of the best posts, position wise, because I was playing with people like Asia Wilson, Liz Cambage, who are just so highly touted and just have been in the league for a bit. And just obviously Asia Wilson was the WNBA MVP last year. So it was a great learning experience just to hear about that next level, just get to learn and play with the best of the best. And I was there for 2-ish weeks or so with in a mix of individuals and team workouts. And it was just great to be able to just see a whole new style and a whole new pace of basketball. It was I really was able to take a lot away from it.
For sure, absolutely. And, setting you up to go play overseas, for sure, no doubt, the competition there. You feel like you kind of maybe got a glimpse of what it's going to take to be successful overseas.
For sure. And even just talking to some of the other rookies that I became friends with, people who had played overseas the past couple years, it's after training camp, they're if you're handling this well, you'll be able to handle overseas well. It's just being able to adjust to that pace and just the talent level. So it definitely, I think, is going to just give me a step ahead when I'm going overseas.
You talked about using the facilities here in Lincoln. I mean, not everywhere is like that, where, well, first of all, the facilities are amazing and top of the line that you can't find anywhere. But just the fact that this coaching staff, this program kind of welcomes you back with open arms, kind of what does that say about that staff over there, that they want you to come back and they want you to train here and they want you to, practice and work out with the current team?
No, it definitely feels great just knowing that, it is a staff and a team that is just so welcoming to have me back, and it makes me feel good about my contributions over the past few years, but it also just reestablishes that family aspect, family culture that we had always driven in while I was here. And it was really cool because to me it was almost I was just oh yeah, they'll let me go back. It wasn't even a second thought in my head. I was just yeah, it'll work. And they were welcoming me with open arms. They're offering to have me come in, see practices. I can play pickup. I can lift, shoot whenever I want. And I'm just so grateful for that, because I know there are so many other places out there who would never let people come back and just be so freely in and out of facilities and just still be so welcomed. So I am extremely grateful just to be able to keep working here and being able to be on a consistent workout schedule, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. So for people that might not know your story, you come from a basketball family. Your dad's a Hall of Famer, your mom's a 1,000-point, scorer. Did you have any option that you were going to play basketball?
I think it was always one of those things. I knew I was always going to play. I started playing at younger, the little church leagues, things like that, when I was early elementary school. So it's it wasn't something I picked up late. It was always something I was playing. But I feel regardless, my parents were very much just push us into athletics in general. So say I settled somewhere else, I think they would have been okay. But it was definitely, I think they're happy that basketball is where I settled.
So coming out of New York, people probably, why Nebraska? Why from New York to Nebraska?
It was a whole crazy thing. So essentially I was committed to another school before I was here. I was committed to the University of Delaware. And then in May of my senior year of high school, there was a coaching change. And with that coaching change, I decided I wanted to go somewhere else. And so basically my entire May, June type of experience was just, I went on 4 official visits within a span of maybe 2.5 weeks, which was insane.
Wow.
And I really just wanted to go to a place where I felt I had an opportunity to play, where I thought I would be able to fit in and just be supported by the team, the coaching staff, everything. And then when coming to Lincoln, I think it just filled a lot of those spots. Obviously, the facilities are insane. The fan support is just something you really don't see anywhere else in the country. And I really did feel like welcomed and just like I had the opportunity to make an impact. So even though it was funny because growing up, not even growing up, but during like the recruiting process, my like number one thing for the first time around was I don't want to go too far from home. And I ended up going to the farthest place from home from the places that I had gotten offers from. So it's kind of crazy how things turn out, but I'm just very grateful for my experience here, and I'm really happy with that decision.
Did it feel like home once you got here, like immediately?
I wouldn't say it immediately did, because it definitely different, but it has grown to just feel like another home to me. Like Lincoln definitely has a special place in my heart, just being able to I grew up a lot here, I think, just as a person, so I feel like a lot of me has changed and just matured while I've been here, and I'm just grateful that had happened here. I feel like there's a lot of experience I've had here that I wouldn't have had anywhere else. So it definitely took a little bit, but it has that home feel now.
So 3 times you were, selected on the Big Ten all defensive team. Mentioned at the top all the, blocks records that you own, but obviously it was, you can be tall and not be good at defense or, blocking shots or whatever. So, and you came in right away, set the freshman record. So how did you kind of develop that? I mean, again, does that go back to your parents? How did that become such an important part of your game?
Playing AAU, I knew I had blocked a decent amount of shots. My high school team, we were not in the greatest league. We were not the best team. I was blocking shots there. So it kind of seemed like a natural thing to me. But then I remember my junior year of high school, which was my last serious year of AAU, my AAU coach said, he was like, Kate, I legitimately think you're one of the best shot blockers in the country. And I thought he was kind of just saying that. I didn't kind of realize how much of a skill I developed through that, because again, obviously I am taller, have longer arms. I think my wingspan even is a little longer than people kind of assume at first. And I'm not super athletic. I'm not jumping through the roof to block shots. So I think it's just a mix of being able to figure out the timing, and just with more reps and just more playing, the amount I've played growing up, you kind of start to figure out the timing of it. And I'm just happy that I was able to carry over into the Big Ten play and college level basketball. So it was really cool, because I never really expected it to be such a huge thing to me. I didn't recognize how much I had really developed that skill until I was here, and then I saw the numbers racking up on the blocks, and I was like, oh wow, didn't really see that one coming. But
how much did you kind of embrace that role as I'm going to protect the paint?
No, I definitely, that is one that I knew growing up. My parents would always harp on just make sure you protect the paint. The paint should be yours. Even the little kid leagues where you could just you'd play a little 2-3 or something, I would just stand there, hands up. So it was definitely something once I realized I could consistently contribute there, that's something I wanted to do, because regardless of how my game's going offensively, because I've definitely throughout my college experience went through highs and lows with that. I wanted to be able to be that person that people could rely on if they got beat or something like that, just to be there to either alter a shot, block a shot, or just something of that sort.
How much of a momentum changer can that be for a team when you just swat one into the bleachers?
I definitely think a good block could just whether it's me or anyone, because even I have specific ones that'll stick out of whether it be Izzy Bourne or Bella Cravens, who could just, because they're more athletic, so their blocks I think look a little cooler. So it's just it definitely can hype you up, whether the game is close or if it just really ends a really good defensive possession in general. It's really can just change the momentum, just give energy, and that's a huge part of it.
So looking back, now that your career's done, what does it mean to you? Talk about how much Nebraska and this program means to you, to have your name at the top of the record books.
It's honestly, it's kind of crazy to think about. In my head, I don't always think of it like that. I'm just I was happy that I was able to contribute. I was happy I was able to make an impact and just kind of help create a culture for the future freshmen and just future teams to do that. So it's weird to me sometimes to really just think and be oh yeah, I did set these records, I did make this impact. I kind of just, and it's obviously now that I'm not playing college basketball anymore, it's one of those things I can't look back at it, and I have been more, but usually it's just oh, let's just go to this next season, let's focus on the next season. So it is kind of crazy sometimes to really think back and just see what I was able to accomplish, because I didn't really, coming in, I had no idea what to expect. with my performance, my experience. So it's kind of crazy just to think about like what I was able to accomplish here.
Yeah, and everybody wants to talk about that and kind of what you did defensively, but how much did your game grow on the offensive end as well while you were here?
I definitely think my junior and senior year, I grew like a lot more confidence and was making some more moves. I definitely had quite the sophomore slump, in my opinion, even though my numbers didn't change drastically, but huge hit to the confidence there after having like a pretty successful like freshman year. So I think just being able to grow in like confidence, developing a little bit more moves. I know even moving on with basketball, I still have a lot to work on and just improve upon there to kind of expand my game, because I am a very specific type of player. I have a very specific role and I've embraced that, but I do know that if I want to keep playing regardless, like depending on how far I want to go, how long I want to play, like I do need to expand my game a bit, which I'm excited to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. How much do you feel like, coming to Nebraska, this coaching staff maybe helped you prepare for what's next to go play professionally?
I definitely think that they were good in just helping keep my confidence up and just recognizing when I was struggling just on the court, off the court. So it was good to be able to have such a support system. And that was like a big draw to me to the program. Like in general, it's just knowing that I'd be surrounded by like good people who like truly cared about me as a person, cared about my development. So I think just being surrounded by people like that was definitely beneficial in the long run.
So you're racking up the stats on the basketball court, but it's not all that you're about. I mean, you are all over. I mean, you have all kinds of academic honors and awards, and you graduated with your bachelor's in 3 years. Why was that important to you to kind of focus on that as well?
Academics has always been like really huge in my family just growing up, and so it was always like a big focus for me, because I know that eventually the basketball is going to stop bouncing and I'm going to have to get a big girl job and figure out everything like that.
Well, you can't play basketball forever?
Not forever. I don't know if the knees could take that for forever. But so I knew eventually that I am going to have to obviously get like a job, and I've always been really aware of that. Like it was never one of those things where I was like, I could just play basketball forever and ever and ever. Like I knew I was like, okay, eventually you're going to have to get a job. So I think it was good for me to be able to really just like focus on like academics and just doing well there. And knowing after a semester or so of my like freshman year, I was like talking to my parents. I was like, like it's possible if I like kind of push it a little bit, like I could get my undergrad done. And honestly, if I have the opportunity to get my master's paid for based off a scholarship, it's like, why not? Like just make the most out of everything that this school has already been giving me and just kind of add to it if they're willing to help me further my education. So it was really like exciting for me to be able to like get to this point where I'm like over halfway done with my MBA now, and I don't know, it's really nice that the school is able to help me with that.
It's impressive. I mean, so master's in business administration, why was that kind of the path that you wanted to go with?
So going into college, I didn't 100% know what I wanted to do, but I kind of wanted to go in with at least something. I didn't want to go in undeclared necessarily. So I knew business was kind of broad, things like that. And it was kind of funny because right now, like my dad's an engineer, older brother engineer, like both mechanical engineers, and I was just like, absolutely not. I was like, that's just absolutely not what's gonna happen. So decided business was like a good area for me personally, because I can get into a lot of different like aspects of it. And if I wanted to stay in the sports world, which is what currently I think is something I would still be interested in, but like I can use business to get to that. But if I decide I will just done and I need a break from athletics, I could still use business for that. So I thought it was like really cool to be able to do a lot of different things with.
If you're, a recruit right now in high school and you're looking about maybe coming to Nebraska, give us your pitch. Why you should come play basketball here at Nebraska?
Honestly, just best fans in the country, best facilities in the country, and overall some of the best people in the country. Just you're surrounded every day by some of the best athletes that you could be, with a coaching staff that truly really just cares about you as a person, and you get just all these opportunities like that so many schools don't offer. Like I have other friends who play at other Division I schools. I have siblings who have played and will be playing at Division I schools, and them just seeing what I'm surrounded by every day. They're just everyone who sees the facilities and things and just the people and just the environment in general, it's just a wow type of situation. it's one of those things where, like, they always say there's no place like Nebraska, and there really isn't. It's just overall, just there's top of the, I don't know, it's just top level at almost everything. So it's just definitely a cool place to be, and everyone really cares about you as a person, which is obviously, gotta love that.
Yeah, for sure. And now that you've kind of had a chance to, reflect on your career a little bit, what would you say, what would your message be to the Husker fans that followed your career for the 4 years here?
Honestly, just a big thank you for all their support and just for supporting the team, and hopefully they'll just continue to just show them this support as they continue to get better and just through all the highs and the lows. I know based on my experience here, me as a player, the team has definitely had its highs and lows, and we've just gotten so much support even through the COVID year. You would always hear about things and people watch parties and stuff like that. So for Husker Nation, just huge thank you for supporting me and my teammates and just continuing to support all Huskers.
This is my last question, I promise. What can fans maybe expect to see? You played with a lot of these players that are coming back. You've seen some of the newcomers. What can they expect to see out of this team this year?
I think it's definitely going to be an interesting year because obviously everybody is coming back. They have 4, if you could include Kendall Coley, 5 freshmen coming in, and then with the transfer Jazz Shelley, who has had her experience at Oregon. I think there's a ton of talent, and I think there's a lot of opportunities for them to be able to be good and just really just take another step up in the Big Ten. So I think it's going to be interesting to just see how they all pull together again. I haven't really got to see the whole new group yet, but they have so much talent. If they really just figure out how to work with each other and just get that chemistry going again, I think that Husker Nation's going to see some really big things out of them.
Well, Kate Cain, we appreciate your time and look forward to seeing what's next in your next chapter. And have fun enjoying Lincoln here this summer.
Thank you so much.
She was awesome. I really enjoyed talking with her.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm excited you heard her that last question talking about the team. Yeah. I cannot wait.
I know.
We talked about that last night, and, Coatney got me all pumped up about it the night before. And
Coatney is still talking. I don't know if he knows that. He's not on air anymore, but he's still talking somewhere about all that.
I think there's a lot to be excited about this women's basketball team. They've got some good newcomers, almost everybody back besides Kate, and you heard her talking about, if they can figure out kind of what they did a little bit last year, the chemistry and working together, they could make some noise in the Big Ten.
Fantastic. Great job with her. My favorite Kate Cain story, Jessica, the women went to Europe 2 summers ago. Spain and Italy, you're allowed to do that every 4 years. Well, one of the things that they had lined up on one of their off days was for the team to go on a bike ride. She didn't know how to ride a bike.
She didn't know how to ride a bike.
So they had to train her how to ride a bike before they left Lincoln. So, Coach Williams' daughters were bringing their bikes down and go, okay, Kate, here's how you do it. So I think she learned how to do it before they took the bike ride.
That's awesome. I should have asked her about that because it's another thing she can take away for the rest of her life that she learned here in Nebraska. But you heard her talking about using the facilities here. And I think, gosh, that's so massive when you've got players that are going to go be pros.
Come back.
And then you can come back and train here for the summer. The fact that they want to come back to Lincoln for, after they're done and work out here, I think that is huge for recruiting moving forward, that they see, oh, look at that. I can work out against pros and make myself better there, but also that if I want to be a professional, I can, come back and utilize the facilities here. And boy, Devaney is awesome. There's not many places like that in the country.
Yeah, nothing for volleyball like that in the country. Hey, our Sports Styling Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Our Friday 5 coming up next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Lee and Lincoln on our text line. Phenomenal interview with Kate Cain. Always been a big fan of hers. She really improved during her 4 years. Go Kate and go Big Red. Appreciate that, Lee. Well done. All right, our Friday Five, a new little feature here on Sports Night. We're going to go through some of the bigger stories of the week in the sports world, and I'm going to lead us off and go to Wimbledon. Serena Williams had to retire from her match in the first round. She suffered a leg injury, and she was out. Jessica, has she won her last major?
I'm not ready to say that yet. I mean, she's the GOAT. She's the most dominant women's tennis player, has been. And until she says, I'm done, I'm ready to hang it up, I think there's always a chance that she's got a chance to win. I mean, if Tiger Woods didn't teach us, how many people counted him out of winning a major ever again? And look what he did. So until Serena Williams says, I am done playing tennis, I'm not counting her out.
She's been 23 Grand Slam titles for her. I've kind of had a love-hate with her. I love what she's brought to the sport. I love how much she's influenced Black Americans to get into the sport of tennis. She's been an inspiration for so many girls. And then she'll go do things like hit a tennis ball at a line judge. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things you're like, I really want to like you, and then you do something like that.
It's just, I mean, impressive that she had a baby, she became a mom, and,
and then still wins.
It's so inspiring for women all over that, look, she can come back and still compete. Because she's still, look, she might not be winning, but she's still raking in a bunch of money doing it.
Right. I'll go the other side. I don't think she wins another major.
All right, we'll see. I don't know if I'd make a bet on it, but I think until she's done, I'm not ready to count her out.
All right, number 4.
Okay, so for the first time since 1993, the Phoenix Suns have punched a ticket to the NBA Finals. They knocked off the Clippers. They'll face either the Bucks or the Hawks. We'll see how that goes coming up tomorrow night. But Devin Booker, by the way, born in 1996. So 1993, one of their stars born in 1996. Just to put it in perspective there about how long that's been. But a lot of talk about if this season, is there an asterisk by this season? What do you think?
Absolutely not. Barkley, by the way, was on that Phoenix team in 93, and he certainly, I love that pregame, that pre and halftime and postgame show they do on TNT with him and Shaq and Kenny Smith.
Injuries
no
happen.
way. There's no way there's an asterisk. I know LeBron thinks there should be because it was two less downtime between the end of last year and this year. But no way. This was a legitimate season played by the NBA. The people like LeBron who want to put an asterisk on it because they're not involved. Too bad you didn't win. You weren't good enough.
Well,
Lakers weren't good enough.
And a lot of these injuries are basketball injuries.
They
It's
are.
not wear and tear.
Correct.
It's happened in, banging in the lane, whatever it might be, going up and getting fouled, whatnot, however you play the game. It's a basketball foul.
Well, you go back, Jessica, last March is when it all got shut down. And then they didn't play until late July. So they had a pretty nice off season then. And then, yes, the Lakers and the Heat, who made their way through the playoffs and got to the finals in October, they didn't have much time before the season started back up in December. I get that. But there's no way there should be an asterisk. The playoffs have been fun to watch. Good for Phoenix.
Yeah, this has been the most enjoyable, I feel like, playoffs in a long time. There's been some exciting games, some battles. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt.
It hadn't lost any without the stars. Sorry.
You're just mad that the Clippers are out, right?
I'm not mad at all that the Clippers are out.
All right, number 3, men's basketball this week made a couple of big announcements for their non-conference schedule for the Huskers. They'll play NC State as part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and then it came out yesterday they're going to play Auburn in Atlanta. How about that to the strength of schedule? Your favorite topic, the RPI. Is this going to be enough? Have they done enough with their non-conference scheduling to put themselves in position?
I think so. I think that those are two big gets because if you look at the net rankings, which we talked a little bit about, and you hope that these will be 2 quadrant 1 opponents, right? It's on a neutral site and then at a away site at NC State. So, and a lot of people look on the way too early rankings that on The Athletic, they had Auburn ranked in the top 25. This could potentially be a really good team, a top 25 team. You go beat them or play them close. That looks good on your resume.
I agree. I love the mix of the schedule, and we don't have it all yet. The whole non-con has not been out, but we know they're going to host K-State. They're going to host Creighton. Those will be 2 good. Those are Power 6 because I do put the Big East in there as a power conference in basketball, so Creighton's Big East. And then with the addition of these 2, I think Fred's hit that sweet spot. I think it's a perfect schedule where they're going to get some wins, and they're also going to give themselves a chance if they play well in the league. It's all going to come down to how they do in the Big Ten.
Well, yeah, and with the Big Ten, you got to think Nebraska could potentially have one of the strongest strength of schedules when it's all said and done.
No doubt.
Okay, let's move on. Garrett Classy again on the show last night and announcing that Will Bolt has signed a contract extension, which now goes through June 30th, 2026. The Big Ten Skipper of the Year is now the second highest paid coach in the Big Ten, a $100,000 raise from $300,000 to $400,000. What kind of commitment do you feel like this shows that Nebraska is making in baseball?
It's a big jump, right? I mean, a $100,000 raise is a big raise, but I think he earned it. And we had Evan Bland on last hour, and he kind of said the same thing. He certainly earned that raise, and I think it's a big commitment shown back to Will. And I know Will also wants some facility upgrades. The locker rooms, the coach's office over there have not been touched since they built Haymarket Park in 2002. That's 20 years ago. And we were in Arkansas for that regional and saw some phenomenal new buildings going up down there for that program. So I'm sure those discussions have taken place as well in the last couple of weeks between Will and the administration here to do that. But I think baseball is taken seriously here at Nebraska. It's taken more seriously here than any school in the Big Ten Conference, and we support it like nobody else in this league does. It's important to this fan base Will Bolt, I think, now knows how important he is to the athletic department. I think it was a great sign.
What about, I was going to ask you this because you've been here, been around, the way that he's been able to get guys to buy into what he's doing. Just what have you seen in that and how important that's been?
This year was a really nice mix of guys. And some of the credit goes to the former coach. Darren Erstad did. A lot of these guys signed with Darren, and Will was quick to say that. He goes, hey, I didn't take over a rebuilding project. I took over a pretty good group that now took this on. But he got this team to like and play with each other. There was a certain chemistry that it's hard to get to with a lot of team sports, but he found a way to do that this year. It was fun.
And he seems like a guy that's going to be able to repeat that.
I agree. And, he's really made it important to keep the best players in this state coming to Nebraska. The class that he has coming in August, a lot of the really good talents from right here at home. All right.
Is that the last one?
Number one.
What is number one? I
NIL.
Oh,
Obviously, that's the biggest story of the week in college sports. Has it had the impact? Has it been as impactful as you thought 2 days ago?
Yeah, I thought the floodgates were going to come opening on July 1st. Haven't really seen that yet, but I do think it's going to still continue to be a massive change and continue to be a positive change. It's been something that's been in the works for so long. So I think we're going to continue to see the impacts of this. But no, I don't think initially it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. But, it's going to continue to be a work in progress. We're going to continue to see things come out from this daily.
Biggest thing that's happened to college sports maybe ever. Overdue in my estimation, but I think we're going to run into some roadblocks at various points. And one of the questions we asked Garrett last night, Garrett Classy, interim athletic director, was, at what point do bumpers get put up? You can't go that far this way or that far this way. I don't think we know. I don't think the administrators know. The NCAA certainly doesn't know because they've kind of washed their hands of this whole thing.
Yeah, they said that they're waiting on Congress, and if not, they'll put some rules in place. So, yeah, it doesn't sound like anytime soon there's going to be a set of rules to follow. But, yeah, and talking about the locker room and how that's going to affect things, I don't necessarily think that could be an issue because I think you still are going to want to be, if you're a competitor and you're an athlete, you want to come in and still win championships. And look at the NBA and NFL and all the professional leagues. They still have to come together and find that chemistry, and there are superstars and there are not superstars. So it's about learning your role. And so I don't necessarily worry about that as much as maybe some people do. I think, if you're a star or not, and that was before NIL, if you're the quarterback and you've got all the followers, and so it's not like anything really in my mind is changing. Maybe they should buy lunch a little bit more, buy dinner, but other than that, I don't really maybe foresee it being a problem because you still want to come in and win national championships.
Right. On our text line, we read part of this earlier. Glad to listen to you guys while I'm milking the cows. As for the name, image, and likeness thing, I think Nebraska as a whole has good enough coaches where they won't let players get too distracted on those sorts of things. Coaches are going to have to adapt. They're going to have to be cognizant of this. But I guarantee you, Jessica, they're going to put it in their sales pitch, at least the Nebraska coaches are, about how well prepared Nebraska was to do this and go, you know what? You come here. We're going to help you with that part. We're not going to run away from it. We're going to run you toward it.
Well, and they have been, and they've been promoting it. It was kind of interesting to see yesterday. This is one of the things that I did take away. A lot of schools trying to play catch up a little bit, like putting out, tweets and everything about what they're doing, what they can do. Hey, come here. This is what you're going to get. But Nebraska's been doing that. They've been pushing, this NIL thing, the NIL Nebraska, and getting fans to follow them on social media. It's been something that's been being done. And then you go back to, this is the show in town, and everybody supports sports here outside of football. We talked to Lexi's son and how much she's stand to benefit from this as well, and some of the other volleyball players. And so, yeah, I think the way that fans here support beyond just football, it's huge for Nebraska.
Yep. That's our Friday 5. Our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. All right, phone lines open for you. Thoughts on any of the Friday 5 topics? 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. We've got more of the show coming up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard inspiring speeches from notable Nebraskans, including legendary coach Tom Osborne.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Because Ford trucks and SUVs are built to help you every day, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. And now you can get great offers on the entire Ford lineup. Come see how at your local Ford store, based on 2019 calendar year total sales. There's a Ford built for everyone, whether it's the latest driver assist technologies, room to fit the whole family, or the power you need on the job site. Ford has you covered. Head to your Midwest Ford dealers today to find great deals on the right vehicle for you.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
We're back, Sports Highlight here on a Friday night. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. 402-413-2400, the number to call us up, or fire off a text at that very same number. We were talking in the last segment, our last of our Friday Five was NIL. How about this? Hersey Miller, who is the son of rapper and former NBA player Master P, has signed a $2 million deal to become a brand ambassador for Web Apps America. It's a tech company specializing in web, mobile, and software solutions. He is going to be an incoming freshman at Tennessee State. He's a point guard, will play for the Tigers this fall. Master P told TMZ Sports, "This is incredible. This new ruling is going to change the way college athletes want to stay in school." And he might have a point there. This might keep people in school a little bit longer if they can earn this kind of cash. I doubt many people are going to be of that ilk, but His son had offers to play at USC, UCLA, LSU, Missouri, but he goes to Tennessee State, which continues a family tradition of playing at that school. $2 million.
Wow. That's crazy. But, hitting on that a little bit more, not only, maybe to stay in school, but also, with the G League and going overseas to play, like we've seen some of these, up and coming basketball players to go ahead and make money, might encourage some of these guys to come to college and play and make money doing that, as opposed to, playing a year overseas and get more of that talent to come play college basketball.
Well, I think, and Lexi's son kind of told us last night, this was a big reason why she came back. She knows she can make some money here. And even an Adrian Martinez, who this will be his 4th year, but he has the ability to come back one more year. That might factor in his decision in 6 months about whether to come play one more year if he's profiting off of this.
Yeah, you never know moving forward what's it going to be like when you are done playing college. How long is the NFL going to last, or whatever league that you do? What's injury? You never know what's going to happen. But if you come back and you kind of capitalize that on a little bit longer. Yeah, it's got to be enticing to do that.
I can't believe Master P's son. Mark on our text line.
I wonder how many followers he has, by the way.
Look that up. What? Mark on our text line said, I'd like to see NIL benefit those who have limited scholarship like baseball players. Well, they can get it, Mark, but I mean, it's got to be a company that wants to go down that road with a player. So that certainly, because baseball and softball, they are limited in scholarships, how many they can give out. So not very, very few, if any, are on full rides for those sports. You got it? Found it yet? What's his name? Henry?
Percy? It looks like he's got just over 2,000 on Twitter.
That's not very much.
Yeah. Let me look up Instagram real quick.
Crazy. Hersey Miller is his Master P's son, but a $2 million. That's by far the biggest thing
but
we've
here
seen.
on Instagram, he has 125,000 followers.
Okay. All right. That's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Instagram has kind of become a little bit bigger than Twitter, I guess. But
yeah. What are the kids? Are they more on Instagram? I know Facebook is not they don't do Facebook at all.
Yeah, no.
Kids.
No. And TikTok. So TikTok and Instagram are the spots right now. Are you you're not on TikTok, Greg?
I'm not on TikTok. My daughters are, but I am not on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
I get dragged into some TikTok videos from time to time.
We should play those sometime.
But as per se, I am not on TikTok.
I don't post any videos at all. I don't do any of the dances, but I watch TikTok because there's a lot of things that you can learn. There's a lot of food recipes and things to buy and all that kind of stuff. So I learn a lot on TikTok, but I do not post. But TikTok is where, the Cavender twins that we saw from Fresno State, they have I think over 3.5 million followers on TikTok, but their, Instagram is not as much, but so I think it probably, and it goes into impressions, like how many people like your post. So, that factors into Lexi and how profitable she is, and that, the posts that she posts get a lot of interaction on it as well. So that kind of all factors into it as well. But yeah, Instagram and TikTok are the two big ones.
There you go. Hey, buckle up and put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to slip our final break in. Back with our winners and losers of the week next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Buick GMC and find your next vehicle. Our knowledgeable sales team is eager to help you find a vehicle. Plus, get you on the road faster with our streamlined sales and buying process that you can start online. New Buick and GMC models with the features you want at a smart price. Visit our indoor showroom or shop online anytime at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Experience the difference and shop Woodhouse Buick GMC first.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska is one of the best schools in America for student Fulbright scholars. 2021 marks the 4th time that the university has been named a top producing institution by the Fulbright program. Of the 30 Huskers who applied this past year, 10 were offered the prestigious Fulbright. An additional 16 Huskers were named semifinalists.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Final few minutes of Sports Highlight for the week. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you. We've hit that part of the show where we name our winners and losers of the week. What you got?
Well, are we starting with loser or winner?
You can pick.
Okay,
There's no set rule.
Let's start with the loser because you graciously gave me the gift of letting me pick Patrick Beverly. If you listened last night, you know I do not like that dude. Goes back to way back in the day.
Apologized.
I know he did, but that my disdain for him goes back to 2013, and what a way to end it. I mean, he goes out, his team gets beat, but he takes a cheap shot at the end. But it was cheap. He was making cheap shots all throughout the series. So have fun watching the finals at home, Pat Bev.
And I tongue-in-cheek say he apologized. It was not a very serious apology.
My emotions got the best of me.
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, you really mean that.
See you later. Watch from the couch, Pat Bev.
All right, how about your winner?
My winner, how about the female student athletes, the women's college sports players that are going to get to capitalize on this because there's not a lucrative league, right? For a lot of these players, this is the best time for them to be able to capitalize on being an athlete and playing sports. They're at their highest level of notoriety and popularity when they're playing college sports. So the fact that they're going to be able to be winners in this deal, I think it's awesome for them, an opportunity to make some money and save and work towards building for their future when a lot of times they don't have a chance to go make millions of dollars.
Very good. My loser of the week, I don't know if anybody caught this, but the Tour de France started last week. There was a spectator, a woman with a sign basically saying hello to Grandpa and Grandma. She stuck the sign out in front of a rider and caused a massive crash.
Ah, how rude.
Bikes were flying everywhere. It took 3 days to figure out who this woman was. She's now been arrested and is going to be sued by the Tour de France Association for causing this massive pileup. Have you seen the video of it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Why would you stick your sign out like that?
Yeah, that's
awful.
Not a smart move.
She's my
I
loser.
would be livid if I was riding one of those bikes.
She is my loser. And my winner was part of our Friday Five. It's Will Bolt. And this winner deserves what he got, a big pay raise, an extra year to his contract. He added so much excitement and enjoyment for Husker fans with what he did leading that team this year. I'm so happy for him. I know you've sat down and talked to Will. Terrific guy. Really glad he's part of our program.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to be in on a full season. I got in on the tail end and to see the excitement. You heard, Garrett Classy. We talked about that earlier in the show about how much momentum this is kind of giving Nebraska moving forward into the fall sports. That's a lot to take on. So I'm excited to get to take in a full baseball season here because there's a lot of excitement around this team, and Will Bolt definitely deservingly so. Congratulations.
Yep. So he's my winner of the week. And if you haven't seen the crash, go look it up, and you'll want to go grab the woman and strangle her. What are you doing? It was a massive pileup. People could have been hurt really bad on that.
Really
thing.
bad.
Yeah.
Hey, you're going on vacation.
I am. Yeah, I'm out of here for a while. You're here. You're going to keep everybody in good hands here. Thanks to Jessica, to Mike for running this one tonight. Enjoy your 4th of July
Happy
weekend,
4th.
everybody. Be safe out there. We want you back next week.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.